I've been using the floor.
Have you? Oh, good.
It was a wonderful concert, Paul.
Oh, thank you very much.
Are you aware of the pandemonium that was going on out there in the garden?
Yeah.
Can you hear it from up there?
Oh, yeah, you can hear most of it, yeah.
Were you aware of the firecrackers and the sparklers and all of that?
Yes, you can see and hear all of them, yep.
It doesn't seem to disrupt your cool at all.
Well, you know, you get a bit used to it, you know, when they start letting off.
Has it been this way all along the tour?
Yeah, it has actually. It's been some places even wilder. Washington was wilder, twice as wild.
More than this?
Yeah.
I think that was because Ford was there.
Elder?
Front row. Yeah, Jerry, you know, front row. He had letting off the firecrackers. I was telling him, Jerry, stop it. I said, it's bad for your image, son. He was saying it's the young vote. I was saying, okay then.
It doesn't frighten you then at all. I just got an awful feeling that I in your place might feel they're going to come up and get me.
No, I don't think it's that kind of tension. You know, it's a sort of New Year's Eve kind of tension, which is okay.
It's all right. That's a great description of it.
Yeah,
you
it is
know.
actually.
It feels safe to us, you know.
Why did you feel that you would do the tour at this particular time? I mean, why?
Well, we were sort of working up to this tour, really. We'd played England and we'd played Australia, and then we were, you know, set to come and play America, so we came.
But you've had 7 successful albums, 3 platinum, 2 gold, a Grammy Award without ever appearing. Why did you do it then? Did you feel that you should?
Well, it's not just to kind of sell the records, although that's part of it.
No, that's why.
We like playing, you know, we like playing to an audience, and once you've done England and Australia, America's the only place left for like English-speaking audiences, you know. But anyway, listen, we love America, you know, and we love to come here and play to our fans because we love them.
And there's a lot of them. Does it ever occur to you that the 18,000 people out there in the garden tonight, and most of them were tots when the Beatles were in their heyday?
Yeah, some of them were. I don't know about most of them.
Well, I'd say a good 50%.
Under 12s.
Right, I heard that line last night, right.
Yeah, I mean, it sometimes occurs to me, you know. It doesn't worry me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I like young people.
No. I think it's a tremendous tribute, the fact that...
yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Does it dismay you that they seem so overly interested in seeing the group reconvene, the Beatles?
No, I think after the show, you know, I think you find a lot of people, if you kind of talk to some of the people after the show here. I think the kind of question, I think the Beatles reunion was a very kind of hot issue before we came to America and kind of played. I've got a feeling it's sort of dying as an issue, you know. I think people are kind of saying, well, you know, maybe they shouldn't come together. Maybe Wings is kind of
I certainly hope so. I mean,
I think it's going that way, you know. I've got a feeling that myself.
To me, it's begun to be a terrible bore, I imagine, to you
Well, that's
too,
what I mean.
yeah.
I think to people too, you know, when they kind of know that they sit at home and kind of cringe when someone asks the question.
Yeah, of course.
But
Pining
as
over
I
something
say, you
that
know, the
doesn't-
Beatles split in '69, and since then they've been doing fine. If that question doesn't cease, ain't no one gonna get no peace.
Okay.
That's my wife.
And in a great key, Linda. That was in a great key. Just a few questions about lifestyle. When you're not touring, for instance, you live in England?
Yeah. Scotland.
Country, city?
Got a farm in Scotland, yeah.
And what do you do when you're not making music? I mean, what's your favorite kind of thing?
Oh, boy, just kind of relaxing, you know, doing nothing, just hanging around, seeing what the weather's like, going out, walking.
You have hobbies?
Planting trees,
Yes?
shearing sheep, riding horses.
You're really a farmer.
I love it, you know. It's great, you know. It's like when you're a kid, you get into the soil and the ground and the flowers. You sort of lie around in fields on a summer's day when you're a child, you know. I think when you grow up, you sort of feel adult and you feel that, well, it's a little beneath me to sort of get down amongst the flowers and sort of pick up soil and do all things like that. It's only for children. Well, it isn't. You know, it's the kind of thing you can easily recapture, and it's just as good as when you were a kid. It smells just as good, that soil.
Probably even better, right?
Even better, yeah, because you're sort of recapturing what you thought was lost, you know.
How difficult is it to have a almost normal home life as a superstar?
Well, I mean, that's something I always used to think of because my friends would have kids and stuff, and I used to think, well, it's inevitable that kids are going to grow up as kind of Paul McCartney's daughters, my ones, But we just treat them very normally ourselves. And, they occasionally come out with funny things like, you're Paul McCartney, aren't you, Daddy? And things like this. And, so they're sort of aware of it, but I think they're very straight with it, and I don't think it is anything that has to sort of wreck their lives. And we try and just keep it sort of very normal. I say, yeah, I am Paul McCartney, yeah, sure, and I sing a song for them and stuff, and I say, well, But I think they're very sort of normal kids, we try and do it very sort of normal. We don't do anything that'll freak them out,
You both seem Linda seems so very well adjusted. And she's come through a lot. She took a lot of criticism when you were married, and she seems to have been able to adjust to it so marvelously.
Yeah, she has, yeah.
Did you help her with that?
Yeah, but she's a strong girl, and she's not stupid, and she's not
by no means.
She's not
but still,
the way
it's
sort of people
difficult.
write about her. They tend to sort of think of her as some kind of pushy New York chick who kind of, is really pushed away. In fact, it's the opposite. She's from New York. That doesn't make you pushy.
Stops right there, of course.
And she handles it well, I think.
I think she's there, very much in evidence, but it doesn't appear to feel too much of this. Sung and played, and your royalties will still be paid out. It's a lovely thought, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Okay.
Just one more question, Paul. What do you think of the state of music today? I mean, do you have any opinions on it?
Yeah, I think it's good, I think from time to time people say, oh, the music scene's bad. And from time to time it does get a bit bad, it gets a bit kind of yucky. But at the moment, I think it's great. I think there's some real hot records around. There's a lot of people. You always get people who are kind of undiscovered for years, like people like Elvin Bishop's got
overnight
a big new
successes.
single.
It only took him 20 years, right?
Yeah, and it all keeps happening. I got faith,
Do you have any particular favorite now? Anybody you'd bet on as a superstar?
Up and coming superstars. Yeah. Well, I don't know. You can never tell superstar. I mean, I like Bob Marley.
Oh, yeah, sure.
With the
Do you think
Wailers.
reggae will really make it big, or will it just be kind
it's
of...
made it big. It is big. But it kind of depends what you're looking at. If you're looking at kids worldwide,
yes,
it's a pretty big form of music, I love it myself.
Well, you were one of the first to bring reggae into pop with Love is Strange. That was one of the early ones time around, yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Bahivula was another one, Loggins and Messina. They kind of filtered in now on
Paul Simon did a thing, yeah.
On every single album now there's one,
Yeah, well, the Stones have got a sort of reggae feel on Hot Stuff. Yeah, that's the way it's sort of assimilated itself with the groups these days. They sort of, Eric Clapton, as you said, Stones, and a lot of people sort of do a little touch of reggae. Well, mind you, the real thing with reggae, of course, is the Jamaican thing.
Yes.
No one can quite do it like the Jamaicans, which is great for the Jamaicans.
Sure, it's really ethnic music in its way. It's like playing bagpipes on 7th Avenue in Manhattan. It wouldn't be quite the same.
Not the same.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I say, it is just the one island.
Yeah.
It's not like Antigua or Barbados. They haven't got reggae. They've got calypso and they've got different kinds of music. But reggae is just totally Jamaica, which is a great thing.
Do you think there will ever be another musical revolution equivalent to what the Beatles hath wrought?
Yeah, I think there's going to be everything that there was again, because I think it goes
everything
on
is
forever.
cyclical. Yeah.
I got an idea it goes on forever. And, I don't agree with these kind of people who say, oh, well, it's not like the 60s. I mean, it isn't like the 60s, but it's like the 70s, and it's as good as the 60s in a way. But, of course, like everyone who's kind of 10 years older, and guys are a little bit more married, and they're not looking for chicks, and maybe it's not quite as exciting for them. But, in a whole different way for me, it's just as good.
I think so. I think so. And I think Wings are here to
I
stay
mean,
for a
we
long
haven't
time.
got flower power and stuff, but
You've got something else.
yeah, it's something else,
You've
you
got
know.
much more professionalism, much more eclecticism in the music.
I like that word. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Well, it means that you appeal to, you've broadened the horizons to so.
Doesn't it mean religious, eclecticism?
No, nothing to do with church. I don't go to that church.
Sounds very clerical.
No, it just means that there's more modes of music incorporated into one. Rock used to be only guitars and drums. Now, on a station like mine, an FM station, I can play a little classical, a little Sinatra, a little Paul McCartney, a little this. That's eclectic, and I think that's healthy.
Oh, yeah.
And you've contributed a great deal to that, you know, into.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, you go back in the past and you find little people like Bach, you know, and he was a right rocker.
Absolutely.
That boy. Skivvying away at home, right on his organ, you know.
With Paul McCartney on his T-shirt.
This is it, the Paul McCartney T-shirt.
Thank you so much, Paul. It's a great pleasure for me.
See you. All right. Is that your lot?
Yeah, well, I'll try to keep it up about here. Is that okay?
Sounds fine. And where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, we're rolling.
When?
Anytime you're ready.
They're capsules. They each should last for about 3 minutes. So if we get rambling, I'll do this to you. It means kind of try and put an end to the thought, and we could pick it up again. But otherwise, it makes it difficult for them to edit it. Okay? You ready?
Yep.
Oh, I won't even bother to do an opening, huh?
No, not really.
Not with this voice. Okay. Laurence Juber, your first time with Wings, and I understand your first time with an actual band. Isn't that rather unusual to go into a #1 band?
It is a bit, yeah. It's not the first time I've played with a band. I mean, I've always played with bands, like from when I was 11 years old. But it's the first time with like a band of this stature, and it's the first time in about maybe 5 or 6 years that I've been playing with a band consistently. You know,
How did
studio.
How did you happen to be invited to join Wings?
Well, I'd worked with Denny Lane on a TV show in England. He just was doing a guest spot, and I was playing in the backup band. And he's the talent scout for the band, and you know, I think he must have liked my playing.
The addition of you and Steve, is this 2 more members or instead of?
Instead of.